What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? My name is Prodigy and welcome to our video on the channel. Today guys, I wanted to talk about a Disney boss today. A Disney boss that I feel like I didn't like as much as I should have maybe, or didn't end up being as cool as I thought it would be. And that is the Dark Baymax fight. Now, most Disney bosses in KH3 I tend to like. I'm okay with the Olympus bosses. I really like the Frozen boss. I really like the King of Toys boss. Love Davy Jones. I think that's one of the best Disney bosses in the whole series, debatably. But Dark Baymax, I feel like is a fight that could have been the coolest out of all of them, given how original it was. It took a concept from Big Hero 6, added on top of it, and created Dark Baymax. And when Big Hero 6 was announced as the final Disney World for Kingdom Hearts 3 in 2015 at D23, I believe, we got this epic concept art that I still look at nowadays. It's my wallpaper on my desktop, or one of them. And admittedly, when you look at the concept art, this is what the fight kind of ended up being. Sora on top of Baymax's back, flying throughout the city, fighting Dark Baymax. But it's just that. And the combat that they went with for this fight wasn't that fun to me. Basically, throughout the whole fight, you're holding the R2 button. You can strike if you want to, and you can cure and dodge, but you're essentially holding the R2 button to just rapid fire at Dark Baymax. Striking on higher difficulties is really risky and is really only worth going for if you want the finisher command, but even then, the finisher, the reaction, the situation command isn't all that. It doesn't do that much. So holding R2 is just a safer option in a lot of scenarios, and even is a lot faster sometimes. I think the parts of the fight where you're flying throughout the city, the beginning segment rather, is really cool. I thought that was really awesome. But then you get to this area and you're just stuck there the whole fight, and that's when the fight just becomes a R2 spam fest the entire time. The beginning of the fight was really cinematic, and I think that part of the fight was really cool. And if that part of the fight led into like a rooftop battle where Sora was himself like on the ground or even in the air. I mean, Sora's been in the air before in the Ansem fight in Neverland. In Remind, I mean, Sora can jump. I mean, he can move. But I think it could have been really cool to have like a really cinematic like rooftop battle, and you can go back and forth between like different areas of the city, but there's still like Sora and Baymax is in your party and you're fighting him like that, learning his patterns similar to like a humanoid boss or any other boss battle in the series. But you have a lot of your abilities, you have a lot of your kit. If I want to, I could spam fire. If I want to, I could use a link there. If I want to, I could go into a Keylite transformation. But instead, the entire fight is just you holding the R2 button. And I wasn't that crazy about the fight at first. Off my initial playthrough, I was like, whatever, because Anti-Aqua came right after, so I immediately forgot. But then on replay through my countless replay-throughs of KH3, this fight just sticks out like a sore thumb, and I'm just not wanting to do it really. I'm just sitting there like, man, I gotta do Dark Baymax next. And it sucks because I feel like a lot of the fights in Big Hero 6 are decently interesting. I really like the Dark Cubes fight in Big Hero 6. I think that fight is really good. A little long, but I think it's really good. But Dark Baymax, the fight that was so hyped up that we knew about for years. We didn't really know about the other Disney bosses like that, but we knew about Dark Baymax for a long time. And this concept art, once again, this looks so amazing. But when you translate that to the actual game, it doesn't have like the same feel. It's not as cool. It's not even the same time of day actually, but it's just unfortunate. The main reason I guess I'm making this is because I want Square to know to a degree that if they're going to do gimmick fights like this, there needs to be something else with them, something else that compensates. You're kind of on rails, but it looks really cool going throughout the city while dodging its attacks and reacting to it and whatnot. But then when you get to that arena and the whole fight is just you holding R2, just you moving around, those are moments that I think could be replaced with something a little bit more engaging perhaps. Maybe even if the whole fight was the beginning segment, it was a lot more cinematic, it could have been a little bit more interesting maybe, because at least you have something really cool to look at, something that's really nice aesthetically, and maybe it mixes up its attacks here and there. That could be a really interesting gimmick fight as well. But mostly, I feel like if they're going to do fights like this in the Cage series, there needs to be a little bit of half and half, or if you're going to do a boss like this, make it in the middle of the world. Don't make it the final boss of the world. Make it like an early boss that's really easy easy to beat. I don't know. I just feel like this fight could have been something more, and I hope in the future they do approach these sort of fights with something else in mind. I have a partial feeling that maybe they did want to do something more with this fight, because we know this was the last Disney World to be completed. I remember before K3 came out, when we got the TGS 2018 trailers, I believe, they were talking about how they took a minute showing Big Hero 6 because the cutscenes weren't done yet, and that was a year before the game came out. So I don't know if that translated over to Dark Baymax or not, but perhaps something else went down with that fight and it didn't end up being what they fully envisioned either. Nothing too crazy is confirmed. We have the fight we have, and I just hope that they go a different route in the future, but it is disappointing because this fight could have been one of the coolest Disney bosses just ever, just because of how unique and original it is. Even more original compared to like the crazy heartless bosses they make. But that will be about all for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out, you guys. Bye.
Now she's a daydreamer. She's always thinking